as I walk down sort of behind the border here, the Viburnum plicatum Watanabe, still a few flowers to come on that, and it's starting to get its autumn colours at the minute. I'm always very fond of that shrub. And here, just kind of walking down at the back of the borders here, are these hydrangea involucrata, which I think are super little hydrangeas, which have these sort of lace cap arrangement of the flowers, but the outer florets, the sterile florets, are double. And I can cut this one back in the spring each year, and it gets to about that size. And it's a very showy, soft pink plant for kind of September, October, and into November if it stays mild. The Cornus cruosa, China girl, starting to get a bit of colour. Hopefully it continues, get a bit of reddish colour. And in the middle of the border there, still with lots of pink flowers on it, is the plant called Anisodontia El Rayo, which is a kind of really big flowered Anisodontia, but its habit is always a little bit leggy, which bothers some people. It doesn't bother me. I've trained out some of the lower stems, it's leaning at an angle, which I think gives it character. Some things have lost their leaves already, like the fig here, which is ice crystal, and there's a little bit of yellow foliage hanging on the ground there, which is from the Calicanthus Hartledge vine. So they've lost their leaves, not a problem. Things lose their leaves, it's part of the seasonality. Some things remain evergreen, like the fabulous Phormium chocomint. The Rudbeckia still trying to push out more blooms. The Osteospermum is still flowering. They just keep on going and going. They're super plants for flowering. Another Phormium chocomint, and in the foreground there, still with blue flowers on it, is the prostrate rosemary. And I've used this quite a few times in the garden. And you can see it over there again, and further over here on the edges of these sort of pathways through the centre. And just starting to bloom now, is this daisy plant called Nipponanthemum nipponicum. And you can see the quite big daisies coming out on this plant. It is a herbaceous perennial. I'll cut it back in the spring. It'll also get some nice autumn yellow foliage as the flowers still persist into November. Behind it there, the big leaves of Melianthus major, which is probably one of my favourite plants. I just think it's a super foliage plant. Another Phormium, Blackadder, and putting out a lovely second flush of flowers in the centre here is a plant which used to be called Eupatorium ligustrinum. Lovely plant. Will grow about double its size there. The foliage colours in the back there is Photinia corallina. Nice bit of flower still on that fuchsia, and loads of flower buds in the red colour of Viburnum tinus spirit, and some actually opening out into its white flowers now. And I just love these Carex grasses which I've used here in the border as well, on the edges of the borders. They help sort of define the paths. I love the rusty orange tones which they get at this time of year. There's the other Viburnum tinus spirit. Bit more flowers out on that one, staying nice and compact. And in front of that is Daphne pink perfume, and it's a really super plant which flowers from April and still in flower now. Nice fragrance on it. I'm quite partial to Daphnes. And this is a Salvia, one of the Mirage range, the pale pink. And in front of that there, you can see the daisies of Erigeron carvinskianus, but this is the variety called Lavender Lady, which stays a bit more compact than I find than the other species. Also looking good on this side of the border here is another Salvia. Salvias are almost at their best in October. The lovely blue one. And again, it's one of the Mirage series. The Delphinium is just finished, but still producing flowers, still looking good. It's the new variety of Cosmos, that Cosmos cherry chocolate. So still a nice bit of bloom coming out on those. This Anisodontia Capensis elegant princess there behind, and loads of flower buds forming on the hamamelis, which is just losing its last bit of autumn foliage. It's unnamed fuchsia, still flowering well. Fuchsias are really great plants for late season flowering, and flowers are finished on the lobelia laxiflora, but I love the feathery foliage effect of it. My path here is nearly gone, so with a bit of trimming back in late winter, early spring, to curb the enthusiasm of those plants. Up against the electric poles there we have another Melianthus super plant, as I say, and the autumn colour in the hydrangea there, which was early Harry. A few late flowers and lobelia. And then starting its flowering season now is this wonderful plant called Correa Marion's Marvel. This plant has been flowering since the end of August and will continue to produce more and more blooms right through the whole winter season, right until about May, when the last flowers. It's a lovely evergreen shrub, great amount of flowers, and it's proved perfectly hardy here the last 5 years. No problem with frost with it. In a colder area, if they're getting harder frosts, say below -5 or so, you could grow it as a wall shrub. But I think the flowers are really pretty on that plant.